So it means this conservative incremental approach will going to disappear within 10 years because of that. I met with the human resource company, largest one. He told me many people, this now is okay. Before, very difficult to re-employ if you're going to, quit company and switch into another one and then another one. It's very difficult to be re-employed, but he said, no, this kind of custom disappeared. It's no problem at all. So this is recent past several years, drastic change is prevailing now in Japan. So well, if do you know the member of, I can't speak at his name, but he's every other year, he's just changing company. Right? But, this is, and also he find a new one.
Right.
So this is recent tendency, not his exception, because this is, looks like normal. Or you change the company, you change several companies past 10 years, it doesn't matter actually.
Of course, but you need to go into industries where there is a big shortage of supply.
So it means Japanese company, they try to give them more shorter, path.
So basically, Japanese companies do no longer want to commit to a lifetime employment, right?
No, this is new tendency. And
that means that if one side is no longer committing to the other side, why would the other side commit so if companies are no longer committing to employees, why would employees commit to the company? If it needs to be mutual, reciprocal.
Exactly. This is going on. But I tell you, still economy is slugging. At that time is many students want to go into government.
Yes.
Stable.
Yeah.
Or it means the stable company, like an insurance company, like a large company, they want to go into those companies, even if they are conservative, because they are guaranteed for lifetime. Still, it's different from European Western company. Japanese still exists conservative company, group of company, including government.
Right.
But recently, many companies, they try to switch into, they're not lifetime employment company. Okay, they're going to give them reward, they're going to give them position. So those group is year by year increasing, very similar to Westerners. This is recent tendency. And in Europe, it's I think government the same, right? And especially current big problem is EU organization. They employed 60,000 employees.
EU?
60,000? Many.
I don't know how many.
600, yeah, so many people employed. And they have average salary is 100,000 US dollars average. It's ridiculous. But this is some kind of problem they have. But very stable, very conservative. But European people don't like it. Right? So Japanese is the other way tendency. More flexible, more rewardable.
Actually, European Union is not so stable. I heard from people who work there.
Really?
Yeah, their contracts end. They don't work on fixed contracts.
Really?
Yeah, it's only temporary. It's actually the job is quite risky.
Really? Okay.
It's not a long term.
Okay, but we need to change the observation. Japanese companies.
Well, I think this is something that will change, and it is changing already. And I think the perspective of your friend is right. People are no longer committing to their companies because companies do no longer commit to them. But if I look around me, if I look in the izakayas and I have a dinner and I see all those people, all those men, the same age, the same dress, that they are so homogeneous. They will all work there until their retirement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so closed and so conservative and so incremental that will not change.
That's right. So fundamental conservativeness exists in Japan, and they try to live up with uniformity, and they don't. For example, Takashi knows very well. Okay, if he want to sell their own company strategy, but very risky because the other village of the industry, they hate him to do that. It's kind of conformity. Okay, follow on the standard of the company group. Like, for example, technology. Is technology, we should need to follow on advanced technology. The industry groups believe that they try to catch up with the same level instead of low-grade technology. Big companies, they cannot do that. They just looking left and right and doing business with the same step with other foreign companies, like kind of approach they should take. So this is conservative. And American company never do that. They believe best and they try to do the best. But Japanese always thinking about their competitors. And they don't go ahead. Right? So this is the other problem.
They don't go ahead.
Don't go ahead. Just competitiveness is, they try to observe each other. Right? And they cooperate each other. So it means you said conservativeness still exists. But the employment is changing. But doing business is the same as village way. Village is no exception. Every try to do the same way.
Right.
The same way. This is Japanese. Even if they go outside overseas, but they doing the same way. If they are Japanese. Korean people never do that. Samsung, they're different. But you said the same suit and dark suit, and Korean people the same. So this is characteristics of the people, not only the business, but the people. Japanese is going downtown. Is Japanese people. The man is everybody,
same.
Right? Dark clothing,
right?
Not black one. By the way, one more going back to the argumentation, models, logics is European people.
Yeah.
Consensus, holistic. This last week we did discuss, right?
Right.
And this one is completely, I agree. But Japanese, I just have question for what is the meaning of model?
Model basically is we are trying to make simplifications of something that's very complex and difficult to grasp. We're trying to simplify it. So if we are talking about a big project, there's a very big tendency to immediately for somebody to go to the whiteboard and start to draw squares and circles and arrows and making a model. And that model becomes the mindset of everybody in the room. So everybody starts to basically give up on the complex reality, but starts to believe in the model. So the model becomes leading into finding the solution. That becomes everything that we base our decisions on.
Yeah, this is my question. In Japanese, they don't have model?
I think that they do have model, but the model, they are so complex. Basically, it's hardly a model anymore. It's almost a description of the reality. I think that the way that I tried to explain it before, it's more of a we try to make the reality into a flat square, like with the x-axis and a y-axis, and just that is the reality. In Japan, there is a third dimension when we're trying to look at the reality. So that means that we try to abstract from that. Everything that we think is always not so important, we can make that model, and everything will fit in there. And just if we imply the rules of logic, we can find the optimal solution, the best approach to solve this problem or to overcome this challenge. In Japan, there is more an inclination to say, okay, well, this might be true in this two-dimensional space, but if we look at it from another angle, from the third dimension, it might be actually different. So the reality is not And there is not a single truth. There are parallel truths, depending on from which angle you look at things. So there is a tendency to basically revisit and look at the same problem from all different kinds of angles, instead of trying to find and basically dumb it down into a model and then just logically derive the best approach.